This video has been automatically generated from an article written by Martin Freiland. That's me, on martinfreiland.com. It was a cheerful spectacle. Nicolas Maduro was literally plucked from his bed in his pajamas during the night of January. Tuan to Threerd. The amazing American Special Forces extracted him from his safe house, a house secured with thick steel doors. All of this happened without the Venezuelan army firing a single shot. No air defense was activated. No fighter jets took off. None of the Russian weapon systems that were supposed to protect the country were put into action. This was, of course, a carefully orchestrated transfer of power to which all parties had agreed in advance. The fireworks did look nice right after the new year. The Venezuelan defense apparatus had clearly received orders to stand down, just like we saw in Syria, where Assad's army suddenly evaporated, just like in Libya, where the defenders of Tripoli simply laid down their weapons. Analysts and experts will tell you that the CIA has likely been working on this for months to buy, blackmail, or threaten the right people, and that it has worked out perfectly, as if everyone already knew what was going to happen. They will talk about an army that was loyal to the Bolivarian Revolution for years, and now offered no resistance. The analysis you only hear here is that it is all part of the big chess game. All players, even those who present themselves as enemies on the world stage, ultimately serve the same agenda. Venezuela simply played a role in the theater of controlled opposition until the moment came to pick up that controlled pawn. That is how it happens on a small scale, and that is how it happens on a global scale. Trump triumphantly announced that America will now govern Venezuela until a safe government transition is possible. What government transition? To Maria Machado, you know, the one who advocated for a coup in Venezuela and was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize? No, she is not suitable, according to Trump's own words during the press conference, because she does not have enough respect within Venezuela. It does not matter. All government leaders around the world are puppets in the big chess game. Seemingly, it appears to revolve around the installation of a puppet regime that opens up the oil industry to American companies. Experts and analysts will tell you that this takeover of Venezuela gives Trump control over 50% of the oil industry, allowing him to keep the price of a barrel of oil below $50. Those same experts and analysts will then tell you that this is a major strategic move that will make it difficult for China, as it imported a lot of oil from Venezuela, and will result in Russia, due to the lower oil price, earning less money to combat the consequences of the sanctions and to finance the war in Ukraine. Experts and analysts may also tell you that this was a brilliant strategic move. They will proclaim that this not only puts pressure on Cuba and Colombia, but also on Mexico. Even Denmark must now really start scratching its head and consider whether Greenland just wants to obediently hand over to the U.S. It is possible that the analysts and experts will even tell you that it was a brilliant move by Trump. Trump, who staged the play that he wanted to withdraw his hands from Ukraine, but in the meantime prepared a major blow. Trump, who gained control of a large part of the oil market through the takeover of Venezuela. Great work by the CIA and by Trump, they will tell you. And so it suddenly seems that Trump may be more strategically aligned with European interests than previously thought. Others may point out that Trump is raging like a bull in a china shop. Whatever analysis you hear, you will not hear that it is all theater, with the major power blocs playing war games to ultimately roll out the same agenda worldwide. It is about the illusion of territory and the illusion of the end of hegemony and the power of the dollar, while in reality chaos is needed to move towards a new system, a new financial system divided into manageable and centrally controlled large regions. China in charge of Asia, Australia, and New Zealand. Russia remains Russia with a piece of Ukraine. the third region formed by North and South America, plus Canada and Greenland, and the fourth region, Africa. So you have 4 states under a world government, and that world government will be centrally controlled from Jerusalem. During his press conference, Trump renamed the Monroe Doctrine to the Donroe Doctrine. He believes that the Western Hemisphere belongs to America, and the U.S. is withdrawing more and more from Europe. Trump does not want Chinese investments in South America, Russian military bases, or independent energy policies. Everything must be approved by Washington. Read, by Trump. The U.S. must gain control over the entire region. There's a good chance that there will be, for show and as highlighted by analysts, some bargaining with China, where Trump essentially gives up Taiwan, and it is also likely that Trump will stand down if China suddenly conducts military blitzkriegs in its own backyard. In reality, it is nothing more than playing war on stage. In fact, we are witnessing the redistribution of the world in preparation for the New World Order. My stance has been for years that NATO will fall apart, that the dominance of the dollar will fall to make way for Bitcoin and tokenization via cryptocurrencies, and that the world will be divided into 5 major regions. In fact, these predictions have been documented here since 2019, but do not expect an expert or analyst to mention that. In this vision, Europe will be taken over by Turkey, allowing Erdogan to fulfill his feigned restorative Ottoman dream. In reality, we are witnessing the unfolding of the master script. And in that master script, the central power over those 5 major power blocks will come to rest in Jerusalem, as a sort of substitute for the UN. And there will be no need for a shot to be fired, although there will be a semblance of a struggle between the good guys and the bad guys. Team Trump against the leftist deep state. Trump will eliminate the leftist deep state. And in Europe, this will happen with the help of Erdogan, who Trump consistently refers to as his great friend, who will then run Africa. In recent years, we have seen the miraculous rise of military regimes in countries like Burkina Faso, where Ibrahim Traoré declared himself president in September 2022 after a coup, and in countries like Mali and Niger. France is being kicked out of the continent, and Africans are now taking matters into their own hands. Under the leadership of Ibrahim Traoré, these 3 countries have also withdrawn from the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, and instead formed the Alliance of Sahel States as an alternative cooperation. And there is a good chance that this trend will spread across the rest of Africa. Do not ask how all of this is possible in such a miraculous way. It could be attributed to funding from the military and weapons from the resources that were previously plundered by colonizers like France, or it could be attributed to large Chinese investments. But it is more realistic to simply see that the miraculous oil jug, the money tap, has been opened and that France's withdrawal fits into the master script. Africa must become a powerful and independent continent. 4 powerful regions under a central world government from Jerusalem. That is the plan. The takeover of Venezuela thus seems on stage like a great and well-planned strategic military move, where half the country has been bribed and the army remained completely neutral. In reality, we only see the unfolding of the grand script here, and under the guise of war, the major power blocks can form, while financially squeezing their own population with the alibi of war, so that they can ultimately lend a helping hand by providing support. Digital support, linked to a social credit score and total control through tokenization and AI. This is happening not only in China, but also in Europe, the US, and the rest of the world. It is all by design. Okay, that was it again. Share and like this video, and see you next time.